All right, well, we live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the first time ever.
Oh, you're not playing the intro?
I'm playing the intro.
Oh, okay.
We live for the first time ever. Let's get to going.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on moonlight. Don't blame it on good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on sunshine. Sunshine. Moonlight. Moonlight. Boogie's got me in a super trance. Sunshine. Moonlight. Yeah. Good times. You just got that sunshine, yeah. Moonlight, good times, good times.
Welcome to the Blame It on the Boogie podcast.
Step right on in. Because we all the way live with so much juice. So check out the crew as we start to get loose.
DOOZE is in the place to be. Go ahead, dudes.
Oh,
it's D-time. D, you got to freestyle.
Rodney went straight back to the 1980s talking about the place to be.
Yeah. I think our foot is kind of stuck in the 80s.
I ain't gonna be like that character Cat Williams played on My Wife and Kids.
Oh yeah.
He said my therapist said that the 80s was my best decade.
My best decade, man. That's my best decade. The 90s probably was the best decade, but that's how
the 90s. The 90s and the 90s and the early 2000s.
We can debate that later. But again, welcome. This is our first foray into actually doing this episode live. We were going only because we can. I don't know. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so we just trying to do something different. We thank you for joining us. If you haven't done it so already, press that subscribe button, press the like button, press the notification button, send dudes the money.
Press something. Just press something.
And just come kick it with us. Today is the three brothers, the three amigos I got with me.
We actually got
what you say?
No, I was gonna say I know for certain that we got one new subscriber, my man Tarquin Gaines, at his Next Wave podcast. I know he subscribed last week. I personally saw him do that, so I gotta give a shout out.
Shout out to him. We thank him. Tarquin. As I was saying, before Dorian jumped in and interrupted me.
I thought you were done with your introductions.
I ain't started my intro. You just stopped it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you ain't said it yet.
Oh,
right. We got
basically you said a whole lot of nothing.
We got DOOZE, Antoine Duval, Williams from Florida, Missouri. I got with me the brother with the wannabe dreads and the whatever you got on his head. Coming to us from Richmond, California, Dorian D Almighty, the Wonder Mouse Brown.
Def D in the place to be.
And you got me, the one and only ROD, Rod D from the Detroit, Michigan.
And the D is for Big Dummy.
D, what was your rap in that song? I couldn't. Everybody remember mine, but what was yours?
That was the one where I was biting off LL when I was like, my name is Def D, and you know I'm fly.
There we go.
Yeah, you got to spit that one to me a little bit later.
I forgot about that one. I stole that from L.
Remember, mine came from DMC. Mine came from DMC.
You know he remembered. He don't forget nothing.
I still got that notebook.
Oh
gosh.
I do. I'm dead serious. I have to find it. It's still remember I sent the picture. Remember, dudes, you was drawing.
Yeah.
I told you I still got it. I still got that notebook.
I did all the artwork for the album.
The album coming.
The album's still set to come out.
When's it coming out, dude?
40 years later.
40 years later, it's still set. It's coming.
That's like Grandmaster Flash gonna go ahead and put out a new album.
Bruh.
It's gonna be received just like that.
Yeah, like Dr. Dre new album. It's still coming.
It's coming. It's coming. So let's get into it, fellas. Let's talk about what we like doing.
Start at the top with Caitlin Clark.
We gonna start with your girl Caitlin because she out here balling right now, y'all. The game is at halftime. I think she has 11. Let me find out. Let me make sure that's what she got. But today, Caitlin Clark and her Iowa Hawkeyes are going against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Oh, my bad. I do apologize to Miss Caitlin. She had 17 points at half.
See?
Man, look.
And that was quick because I missed that. I was watching the game. I didn't see her score no 17 points.
Man.
But she had 17, 5 assists. She also recorded her 1,000th assists. The only sixth person to ever record 1,000 assists in a season. So she's about to be the all-time leading scorer and the sixth highest assist person, maybe all in the same game.
Man, look. I mean, I've you know, look, greatness, man. That's all you can say. I mean, there's really nothing much to say. When you watch her play, when you look at stats, but then also when you watch her play, I think we talk a lot about empty stats.
Mm-hmm.
But she always has a positive impact on the game. Her 39 a game is not something that is just 39 a game. No, she had an impactful 39 and assists, and she does all of that. She does everything, and man, you can't take it away. She, I almost really hate to compare players a lot. Sometimes, particularly when you're talking about different eras, but she reminds me a lot of Diana Taurasi.
Okay, I can see that. I was talking to dudes earlier before we started, and one thing I told him is that when you look at Caitlin Clark, you don't say she's a good women's basketball player. You say
she can hoop.
She's a great basketball player. You
don't say she's a good women's basketball player. You don't say she's a good a white woman or as far as a basketball player. She's a great basketball player.
You say all you say is, man, she can hoop.
Yeah.
That's it. She can hoop. She can hoop.
Before we started, she got the rebound on a fast break, driving down. It was 3 defenders at the half court mark, and she did a 30-foot bounce pass to her teammate that was streaking down the sideline, right between all of them. She caught the ball and laid it up for 2. I was like, man, that's a great basketball play. Great basketball play. A bounce pass, man. A 2-hand bounce pass.
And Rod, I know you could appreciate the layup.
Exactly.
Making the layup.
Exactly. You know how that is.
As someone who has missed thousands of layups in their time.
Look, man, it was all a mental thing. I had PTSD or something. I don't know what it was.
It was something about that one spot on the rim, right?
Right, that Rodney just couldn't get it quite over.
I can shoot it from deep, but could not shoot it from 2 feet in. But no, as Monty so eloquently earlier
stated, yeah.
It was when I was by myself that was a problem.
Yeah, he can make the contested layups. He can make the contested ones.
I would be thinking about it, man. And I don't know what it was.
But those wide open layups were the devil.
Yeah.
And like Johnny said, oh man.
Look, I'm like Ben Simmons, man.
Yeah, like he was shocked. We were.
I'm like Ben Simmons. Throw me the ball. I'll be wide open by myself. I'm gonna take it out to the 3-point line and shoot it. So I ain't shooting no layup.
Yeah, those missed layups were shocking.
It was horrible, man. It was horrible.
But yeah, Caitlin, man, she's gonna go down, as one of the best collegiate basketball players, as far as women, if not the top one.
Yeah, I mean, I think her problem in terms of, okay, put it this way, her issue is really going to be that she didn't win one.
Mm-hmm.
If she gets out and doesn't win one, then that's going to be the only thing that's going to keep her from being talked about with all the greats. When you talk about the greats of women's college basketball, they all won. You know, Candace Parker, Shamika Holdsclaw, Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Miller, Teresa Witherspoon,
Swoops.
you know,
Swoops
Cheryl,
won, right?
I mean, Staley never. They didn't win in Virginia. They were always in it, but they didn't win in Virginia. I think they might have gone to the Final Four maybe once.
The one time, I think it was her senior year. They went to the
they went to. I think they went to the Final Four or something like that. But Staley, of course, most people obviously know her for coaching. But when you start talking about the great players, they all won national championships, and I think that's going to be the thing too with UConn. Paige Buckets got to get her a ring. Because I'm trying to think, because she I don't think they won when she was a freshman, and then she got hurt, and then now she back this year. But Paige Buckets got game too. But
I love Paige.
Injury,
her injury, the knees, man.
But you know something interesting about this. This is what I hate that people do when it comes to these records. So people will want to try to put an asterisk by this because Pistol Pete back when he played, you couldn't play as a freshman. You know, Kareem and all of them only couldn't play till they were sophomores or whatever. And well, Pete Maravich did it in 3 years and all this kind of stuff. Okay, but that doesn't make her achievement any less.
Exactly.
I was thinking about what's my man name? Speaking of UVA, he played guard for UVA. He does ESPN broadcast, NBA. Point guard.
Not Corey.
Corey Alexander.
Corey Alexander. Yeah.
And he was talking about my man Baycott from Mondo Baycott from Carolina, and how he had 79 double doubles, and he was now fifth on, or he was now like second all time. He was first Carolina all time in rebounds, and then he just moved into like second place or third place on the all time list. And then he's like, but it's an asterisk. There is an asterisk. He said, Mondo, that's my boy. I've known him since he was 12 years old. All this kind of stuff. But there's an asterisk by that because of, and it's like, why you want to dog his achievement like that after you just got finished lauding him for it? Then you got to take a notch. You got to take him a notch down. But why does having an extra year put an asterisk on that when the idea of a person having those kind of records is the idea of consistency? They were able to do that consistently. So don't take that away from them just because, for whatever reason, because of some now change of rules, now all of a sudden, they have more opportunities to be able to do that, but they just have more opportunities to show you how good they really are and how consistent they really are as players. So I think that trying to get that little notch in them, I think I hate when folks do that, put those asterisks by it.
Did Pistol Pete, he didn't win a championship, did he?
No. I think they may have gone to the Final Four. Or maybe the championship game or something like that. But I don't think they won.
Yeah, they didn't win. No.
So I mean, the extra year, I hear what you're saying, D, and I agree somewhat. But when you look at strictly for record purposes, not based on is she a great basketball player, this, that, and the other, but strictly for record purposes, when you have that extra time to get these records, just like in the NFL now, where instead of 16 games, now you got 17 games. So this year, you had a couple players at the beginning of the year that was trending toward passing the 2,000-yard receiving mark. They didn't do it, but they were trending that way. And the thing is it the same with them being able to accomplish that 2,000 yards in 17 games versus like Calvin Johnson when he was trying in 16 games? So that's the only drawback I can have. But you can't take away from. You have to judge them based on the rules at that particular time.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, but you're holding something against them that they can't do anything about. It's not whoever's fault, Caitlin Clark's fault or anybody else's fault that Pistol Pete couldn't play an extra year. You know, if Pistol Pete had played an extra year,
he'd have 6,000.
The record probably would be out of reach. He would have scored 2,000 more points. You know what I'm saying? If he had an extra year to play, who knows? You know, so you can't hold it against them because they have an extra year. That's not her fault. That's not any. You know that, but she still averaged 30-something points a game. I mean, Pistol Pete averaged 44, but still, you know, she's still averaging 30-something points a game. It's like, come on, y'all, stop with that. You know.
Well, I mean, those are just people that have nothing else to complain about.
Yeah, that's damn Hall of Fame holders. You know how I feel about them folks.
Okay, going back to, but we jumping all over the place, but we live. We can do that. When you look at the idea of Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, right? The newer basketball, well, I'm saying newer, the younger basketball players who think that LeBron James is the GOAT will say, oh, he made it to 10 NBA finals. Your older heads like us will say Jordan was 6-0. LeBron lost 6. So which accomplishment is greater? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm an old head. Jordan is the GOAT, right? I've seen both of them play. Jordan is the GOAT. To me, there's really not a lot of debate. Jordan is definitely the GOAT. But you have to give LeBron his props. The brother went to 10 straight NBA finals. 10 straight NBA finals. Other than maybe some fellas that played for the Celtics, that has never been accomplished before.
Oh yeah, LeBron's been doing it, you know, like you said, consistently for all these years. And you know, even Jordan took some time off.
Right.
As a matter of fact.
And I'm giving his props, and y'all know how much I hate LeBron. But you can't take away the accomplishments that this brother has. Even with the he received he got the all-time scoring leader now. You can't take away from what this brother did.
No, you can't. And I don't even want to get it. I don't even want to get into this. Started getting to the Jordan LeBron debate because I think that they're both great. I think that LeBron. I think LeBron is the greatest player of his time. I think you really start getting into real issues when you start trying to compare eras. Like, I've heard, Gilbert Arenas say this. Well, if, you think them guys in the 60s could play with these guys in the 90s. And, well, yeah, the thing is that the reason that you play the game the way that you played it is because they played it the way that they played it. You're building off of them, So let's not take away from what they did for the game. But this has always been my thing about Jordan. And this is comparing Jordan to Kobe. This is comparing Jordan to Dr. J, to, cats of his time, even Bird, Magic, then you get into, Vince Carter, KG, any of these guys, then everybody they tried to compare to Jordan. This is where the debate ends for me. I always say this. Understand that Jordan averaged 30. So you knew coming into the game automatically he was going to get 30. More than likely, he was going to get 40.
Every now and then.
Your job was to keep him from getting 50.
50, 60.
But at the end of the day, you wasn't getting nothing. He was going to shut you down. He was just as competitive on the other side of the ball as he was with the ball in his hands. None of those other cats made, while Jordan won, however many MVPs and was a 12-time or 13-time NBA All-Star and was first-time All-NBA. He was also first-team All-NBA defense every single one of them years. Every single one of them. That he won an NBA scoring title, he was first-team All-NBA defense. He had his game was all around. No weaknesses. So that's what separates Jordan from everybody else. That nobody
it's strange that you said that, because I was talking to my son Isaiah this morning about the same thing. I said, these guys don't take the challenge anymore. Jordan and Pippen used to fight each other over who was guarding Magic Johnson or Dominique Wilkins or the top scorer of the other team. They would really get into it about it.
Right.
And then they would have to settle with, okay, you guard him the first half, I'll guard him the second half.
Right.
But, both of them wanted to guard him the whole time.
Right. So
these guys, I mean, I see Jason Tatum and even Horford and what's the center, Porzingis and all these guys. But anyway, why when the Sixers play the Celtics, Drew Holiday guards Embiid? You got a 6'3" guy guarding a 7-foot guy because nobody else wants to take the challenge.
They don't take the challenge. Yeah.
Man, they would have to beat me to keep me from trying to guard the best guy. Well, not really, because Dorian would have to guard him.
You wasn't a
all my strength went to offense.
Our job was to sit the fellas down.
I don't want to sidetrack the conversation, but yeah, I just always think about that whenever it comes to those debates, because all everybody thinks about is the scoring. And Jordan did this and LeBron, Kobe had 81 and LeBron got. It's like, yeah, but it's like if you really watch the games, you really see, when you actually really watch these cats play,
it's the eye test.
It really is. And so if you never saw Jordan play, if the only thing that you saw were the highlights of him dunking, then you really missed a major part of Jordan's game, which was Jordan playing defense. That's why he became such a great defensive player. Not that he wasn't, but Jordan pushed them cats offensively, and he pushed them defensively too. When your best player is your best offensive player and your best defensive player, that says a whole lot for a team. So again, like I said, just from having actually seen them all play. I remember getting into an argument with my class one day about this and realizing, wait a minute, none of you all ever watched Jordan play a game.
Yeah.
So you can't have this argument with me.
And look, I had the same argument about John Stockton. Everybody said he was better than Isaiah Thomas. And I said, from actually watching them play, because I saw the games. Right. I saw Isaiah dominate John Stockton every time he played him. Right. And to go a step further, I saw Kevin Johnson dominate him every time he played him. And I saw Tim Hardaway dominate him every time he played him.
That was my boy, man.
Now, if you go, as far as a career and longevity, then yeah, John Stockton probably had them all because, like I said, he was consistent for 20 years. Right. So he was like, and didn't have any drop off. But as far as comparing them to those guys, I saw the games and they dominated him thoroughly.
Man, like I said, we all sat up and watched all them games whenever we could, whatever channel they came on. We were figuring out a way to watch.
And I recorded them, so we saw them a couple times.
Right.
Most of the games were recorded. We come home after school and watch the games.
Right. Anyway, we done got totally
way off of Caitlin Clark.
Sorry, Caitlin.
Let's get back on track.
Sorry, Caitlin. She got 24 right now. She's what does she need? 39 days, so she needs 15 more points in the next quarter and a half.
It's possible, all right, but we keep track of
it. She needs 13 points now.
Come on, Caitlin. Pick it up.
5:30 left in the third. So anyway,
okay.
So we'll keep an eye on that. But since we're still talking about basketball, on Thursday we had the NBA trade deadline, which is like one of my most exciting days of the basketball season because I'm a
you get the prayer that the Knicks get LeBron.
No. I didn't want I did not want LeBron this year because I didn't want him to mess up my team. Now he can come over during the offseason, so that way I don't have to give up no assets to get him. And he can join the team, but he ain't gonna be my team. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Right now we're gonna talk about the NBA trade deadline winners and losers. And it was an eventful day. I'm not gonna say it was an exciting day because you didn't see a whole lot of big names get traded, but there were a lot of names traded and released because a lot of them that got traded also got released. Teams are just trying to do two things. They're trying to first, either get assets, be it, players or draft picks, but a lot of teams are also just mainly concerned about that luxury tax. They don't want to pay the luxury tax, especially when your team is not doing that well and you're going to be in the lottery. What's the point of me being in the lottery and then I got to pay $30 million as a luxury tax penalty for being over the cap? So a lot of teams were just getting rid of players just for the sake of getting rid of players, so they didn't have to pay all that extra money. But let's look at some trades that did occur. The Detroit Pistons was probably the most active team this year. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or whatever, but they made the most trades. Let's just say that.
It was a thing.
Yeah, and the thing about it, they had to because their team is like just horrible right now. But not only are they horrible, they don't mesh, and it's a fault of Troy Weaver. Troy Weaver is the one that put this team together. And I hate to complain about the dude because it's a brother with a GM job, and you want all the brothers to do well. But the job that he's done so far with the Pistons these last 3 years, man, bro, I tell you, have been nothing short of horrendous. When he first came in, he made like 4 trades the first week that he was here. And what he did was he took on contracts from other teams in exchange for second-round draft picks. Right? So you paying a player that really isn't a good player, but he's on an expiring contract, so now you can get all this extra cap space at the end of the season, but your team sucks. But you accept that, when you first start your rebuild, you accept that. Okay, in order for us to get better, we got to get worse first. So let's clear the cap space. Let's clear our financials, get to a position where we're able to go out there and try to recruit a free agent, so on and so forth, or be able to trade for another player. If we do like Oklahoma City did and get all these different draft picks, and I can go out there, I can take these draft picks and I can trade for a star. But the problem is he didn't do that. The first draft pick that he had, he selected Killian Hayes with the number 7 pick, point guard out of France. 2 picks later, the Sacramento Kings selected Halliburton, who is now probably going to be all NBA. He's a NBA All-Star this year.
If he played enough games,
starter.
Yeah, that if he qualifies.
Well, we'll get to that too.
If he qualifies, but yeah. But prior to the draft, even though these people are not in the front office of the Pistons, but most draft experts were predicting Halliburton to go to the Pistons. Why? Because the Pistons needed a point guard. They needed someone to come in and set the table and do all the things that Halliburton does and does well. They needed someone to be able to score. But they went out and got a 19-year-old French point guard that nobody had heard of because he came over and had a great workout. Now, the Pistons of anybody, any team in the league should know that pre-draft workouts don't mean jack. That's Darko
Milicic.
Exactly. If no other team in the league knows about these pre-draft workouts, it should be the Pistons. But they let this pre-draft workout. So he came in that one day and actually made shots that one day. And hasn't made a shot
since.
Still
looking for his shot.
He's still trying to make a shot.
In the 3 years he's been here, hasn't made a shot since. Listen, and I'm when I go to the game, I'll be like, praying, hoping, wishing that this brother make a shot. But man, he has the worst. And it doesn't even look bad. His form doesn't look that bad. But maybe he needs glasses or something because his shot be so freaking far off. It's crazy.
Right, D. Why could I hear Rodney at the game without even being there saying, "Stop shooting"? Why is he shooting?
Exactly. Like, get him off the floor.
Can't you hear it?
Get him off the floor. But yeah, so he made that draft pick. And that pretty much set the team back 4 or 5 years. Because the next year, the team was so horrible. The next year, they got the number 1 pick. And were able to draft Cade Cunningham, who's another guard.
Right. They like Detroit when they kept drafting wide receivers.
So then the next year,
Detroit just kept drafting the same player, like 4 years.
The exact same player. Yeah.
Year 3, who does he draft? But
not Duran.
Ivy.
Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
You go and draft Jaden Ivey, who's a point guard /
Gordon point guard. Mm-hmm.
Does the same thing as Cade does, but this is your 3 picks. And then this year, although I like Twin, Asar Thompson, I like him. But this brother shoots 25% from the field. He is horrible. He shoots the same in life. Oh, man, it is so fun. But he's a great defender. He can pass the ball. He rebound. But he's
like a Dennis Rodman type. He's a hustler.
But the cats don't want to play that role no more, dudes. They got to get ones. They want to get all the points. They want to get the shot.
That's the thing. And then you go out and get this coach that wants the team to run and shoot these threes, but you have nobody on the team that shoots freaking threes. So is there a wonder why they lost 25 straight games? Nope.
We can't turn this into a referendum about the Pistons.
You got the same play. I'm fussing, man. I go to these stupid games, man. I'm fussing.
He's mad that he has season tickets.
we got 4 of the same players, man. 4 of the same players. Not only do you draft Asar Thompson this year, you draft another guard. Sasser. Now Sasser's a baller, but you got 15 guards.
I figure one of them will turn out.
15 guards and a small forward.
No, we don't have a small forward. The other thing that he did, and yes, I am making this a referendum on the Pistons.
Yeah, we see.
He went out and got every sorry big man you could possibly get. We got James Wiseman, who's #1 pick. There was a reason why Golden State gave up on him for nothing. No, they just gave him away. He was #2 pick after Edwards in Minnesota, but they just gave him away, right? So there was a reason why they gave him away.
What who was that comedian a long time ago? I forgot his name. He used to say, "Take my wife, please."
Please.
That's
my wife.
That's how Golden State was about James Wiseman.
Take my Wiseman,
please.
And then they got Marvin Bagley III, who was there was a reason.
He was a #1 pick, wasn't he? Wasn't Bagley a #1 pick?
He was 2 also.
From Sacramento, okay.
Yeah, but there was a reason why Sacramento just gave him away also. Now when he's in the post, he's a good post player. He can score in the post. The problem is he always wants to be at that 18-foot spot.
He can't hit the curve.
He's a drifter. Yeah, he's a drifter. He likes to drift.
Drifts, and then he don't play no defense. So then, what did they do with him? Hold up. 2 years ago, he was a free agent. So the Pistons went traded for him. He became a free agent, a restricted free agent in the summer. Nobody was offering this brother any kind of contract. So what did the Pistons say? Hey, I can give you 3 years and $51 million.
$755 million.
Gold.
I'll take that deal. So let me bring it all back to Thursday. So now Weaver's trying to get rid of all this mess that he created. It was so bad that Killian Hayes, #7 pick 3 years ago, they couldn't even find anybody to trade him to. So they had to cut him. He got released because nobody wanted him. Why? Because he can't shoot. Who wants a guard out there that can't shoot?
A shooting guard that can't shoot.
He's 6'5". He can pass. He can dish the ball. He's a real good. Again, Killian has his positive points. He can pass the ball. Yes, he can defend when he wants to. He can rebound. The problem is he can't shoot. That he can't do ever. But the rebound, passing, and defending, he does that like every third game. So he has no consistency to his game. So you can't trust him. You can't put him out there. So yes, nobody wanted him. So now you release the number 7 pick 3 years after you picked him. He can't even make it to restricted free agency. Then he traded away, which was a great thing because he traded him to my Knicks. The 2 best scorers.
How did I know the Knicks was going to tie into this some kind of way?
Of course. That was a big trade. Bojan Bogdanovic.
I was just waiting.
Bogdanovic and Burke, both of them got traded to the Knicks, which I love. That was a wonderful trade for my Knicks. Now looking at it from the Pistons side, you got Grimes, who how can I put this nicely?
Without cussing on a Sunday.
Grimes is probably the most frustrating player ever for my Knicks. He showed you great glimpses. So much
Grimes was the one that you guys didn't want to give up for Donovan Mitchell, right?
So much so that we felt, he is no, I'm gonna say correction, not we. It wasn't we.
This stirs his blood up right here.
Felt that he was too valuable a player to trade him for Donovan Mitchell, who was by far a better player. It ain't even close. You're talking about someone that should be in the All-Star game each and every year, scoring 28 points a game, shooting 48%, 40%, 85%. The brother's just great. And you decided that Quentin Grimes was just too good a player to pass up than to get Donovan Mitchell. So now what do we need right now? We need somebody like Donovan Mitchell. Had him, couldn't get him. But anyway, so you got Quentin Grimes, who maybe, if given the opportunity that he's going to have with Detroit with more playing time, so on and so forth, maybe he can go ahead and develop. I hope so, because now he's on my Pistons. But then all you got was 2 second-round draft picks in cap space. So to give away your 2 best scorers for basically a player that might develop and 2 second-round draft picks for the Pistons side really wasn't a great trade-off. And then they traded what's his name? Kevin Knox to Utah for a wing player. And then they traded Monte Morris, another guard, for 2 more guards in the second-round draft. So they just did a whole lot of stuff and ended up with, now there's still like 12 guards instead of 15. And now instead of having 8 big men, you got 4. So I don't know the direction the Pistons are going, but they did something. It was look it up, seeing all the.
Well, my question. I got a question for you then. So then, if the Pistons and the Knicks didn't do so well,
the Knicks did great,
and they never. So it don't sound like it, but
the Knicks did wonderful.
So who did? Who did well then at this NBA trade?
Dallas Mavericks.
So
the Dallas Mavericks and actually the Knicks. The Dallas Mavs picked up was it Gafford? Daniel Gafford?
From Washington.
Oh man,
we need to get our tickets, man.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We got to get our tickets.
It ain't right.
Dallas,
Monty, Johnny, Calvin, holla at us after this show. We got to get these tickets. Anyway.
Exactly. Matter of fact, call in. But
there you go. We live. Call in.
Dallas Mavs, they picked up all the things that they needed. They needed a big man. They got Gafford, who's a finisher down low. He's a great rebounder, great shot blocker. Mm-hmm. They picked up PJ Brown, who's a great rebounder, real good 3-point shooter, and he's decent down low. And that's what they were missing to go along with Luka, Kyrie, and Tim Hardaway. Oh man, that's it. I can't wait to go see him when y'all get y'all tickets.
When we get them tickets. But the in that trade, the Mavs gave away what's his name? Oh man, came from your picture.
And Steph and Grant Williams.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see who they gave him up for.
Steph and Grant Williams, they went to Charlotte.
Yeah, they went to Charlotte for wait a minute, I was just looking at it.
Yeah, what did they give up for? It was nothing.
Yeah, Steph and Grant Williams.
They paid to get rid of Grant Williams.
Mm-hmm.
After paying to get him, not even 6 months ago. Where is that trade?
And both of those guys are from Charlotte, from what I hear. I know Seth is, but yeah, both of those guys are from Charlotte.
Where
so they get to go back home.
That was it. That's who it was. It was just Seth and Grant Williams and like some picks.
But yeah, they made out. And then of course Rodney's Knicks made out in the deal.
And they traded. I see Gordon Hayward got traded to the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing about Gordon. Gordon Hayward, man, when he's healthy, which is a big just question.
With the emphasis on when.
When he is healthy, man, he is a great player. I mean, because he's big enough to play the 4 in the small ball. He's a great 3. He can drive. He can create for other players, and his shot is still there. He can still.
And he's athletic, yeah.
But the problem, he just cannot stay. And I feel so bad for him, man, because he had a career. He was on a career trajectory. That had he stayed on there, man, you might have been talking about him being in the Hall because he was balling when he was with Boston, not Boston.
Utah.
He was at Utah before he got to Boston. Boston's where he got hurt. But when he hurt, man, 25 points a game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He was balling. He was doing all the things that you want your small forward to do.
Yeah.
But that one injury, man, since then he's snake bitten.
Yeah, but like I said, the Mavs and the Knicks, I mean, both of them got exactly what they needed, I think, to be contenders. I think with the Knicks, of course, it depends on whether we get a healthy Randall back and possibly Robinson. If they could be whole, I think they'll be right in there.
Yeah, if we can be whole, man, your Celtics got a little.
Yeah, I think that
my Knicks against no Celtics.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Shout out to Doran. Thank you, Doran.
The Knicks will probably lose to Cleveland or somebody like that. But
hey, but what you think about what Philly did, dudes?
Buddy Hield.
I was kind of confused with Philly. I mean, I love the Buddy Hield pickup, but I'm like, are they kind of like? You think they're kind of like throwing the season away, or do you think they really they believe MB is going to come back? Because
my thought,
meniscus could be a tricky injury. I've been there. I had that one too.
Yeah,
you had that one too, didn't you? Oh no,
meniscus and ACL.
If it's a knee injury, dudes had it. But I like the Buddy Hield pickup. He's gonna make it trouble for a lot of teams that want to try to kind of sag down on Embiid. I think they did that with the thought because they know more than anybody else, and I'm pretty sure by trading for Hield, especially since he's going to be a free agent, they know that Embiid will probably be back in time for the playoffs. So
I think, or else they probably would have went after Drummond harder.
Exactly, because they're gonna need help in the middle. But I think they can survive into the playoffs. Right now, it's just survive and get in.
Right now, right now they 5th. So
and they got rid of
Pat Bev.
Pat Bev sent him to the Bucks. I guess the Bucks trying to call themselves trying to shore themselves up defensively.
Yeah, I think they lost a lot when they lost Drew Holiday. On the front line of the defense. So
and what that was the complaint about why the Bucks fired Adrian Griffin was about defense. So I guess again, not that Pat Bev is a defensive stopper anymore, as we talked about or whatever, but I think he gives them more defense against the guards, against those players that Drew Holiday would play against.
Yeah.
Pat Bev gives them, some more defense than they have.
He puts up some resistance on, on the first line of defense, and plus he plays with a lot of heart.
Right.
So let me ask y'all this question. It didn't have nothing to do with the deadlines or whatever. But do you think Milwaukee is regretting that trade for Dame Lillard?
I don't really think so. I think more so they might be regretting that getting rid of the coach, Adrian Griffin.
No, I don't even think it's getting rid of Adrian Griffin. I think they think they messed up when they got rid of Coach Bud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's what I.
Sure.
That's where I think that they.
I definitely agree with that.
I mean, honestly, how do you get rid of your NBA championship winning coach a year after
he won?
A year after he won? It's this idea. It seems to me to be this idea that once you win it, we expect you to win every year.
Yeah, and then they lost Middleton that year. Remember?
Right, but but it's like, look how long it took y'all to win before you got here. Now you expected to win every single year. So unless something else was going on, internally or whatever, maybe bumping heads with the GM or the owner, who knows? But I think that's what they're regretting more than anything else is getting rid of Coach Bud.
Yeah, I think they had a good thing going with Coach Bud. But like I said, with Adrian Griffin, I know they were upset that, the team had changed the whole dynamic and the fact that they're an offensive team instead of a defensive team. But the bottom line is wins, and they were winning. So even if I was upset that, we weren't playing defense anymore, I would have took some kind of solace in the fact that we are still winning. So,
right. Yeah. But think about that, dudes. You go get Dame Lillard and you trade Dame Lillard for Drew Holiday. You wasn't trading for defense. That's not like, so how you gonna trade for Dame Lillard and then be mad that your defense ain't as good as it was?
Exactly.
If you were trading for Drew Holiday and your defense wasn't as good, well then I see why you mad. But you traded for Dame Lillard. It's not like Portland had ever been one of the top defensive teams in the league. So it's like, come on, it's like what are y'all thinking?
And I think they just undervalued Drew Holiday's importance to their defense because they were one of the top defensive teams or whatever. Yeah. But like I said, I think part of the main part of the problem also is Middleton has declined rapidly. Yeah, he kind of had like a Klay Thompson decline.
He fell off the cliff. It's sad looking at him,
and he was their second best player. Remember?
Versus, it's sad looking at him today versus what he was, a year and a half ago, man.
Right.
And he was their second best player, but now, he's probably like their fourth best player. Quick update. Caitlin has 31. She's 8 away from the record. There's 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game.
Oh, she'll get that.
Iowa's up 71-61.
So how does this NBA, why you say NBA buyout season?
All right. So now after the All-Star, after the trade deadline comes the NBA buyout season. So all the players that the teams could not trade, high price players is going to be free agents, whatever, they get cut. Case in point, Kyle Lowry, who got traded from Miami to Toronto, has been released. Spencer Dinwiddie, who got traded from the Nets to I don't even know who he got traded to. It was Toronto also, wasn't it?
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, he got released. Danilo Gallinari, who got traded from Washington to Detroit and was actually balling in Detroit. Why they cut him, I don't know, but he's been released. So these are veteran players that are now able to go out and sign with whoever they want to, other than the teams that traded them in the first place. Right. Catch on for that last part of the season to see if they can try to snag a ring or whatever. So today, Kyle Lowry got released, and he's expected to sign with none other than his hometown, Philadelphia 76ers. Right? Spencer Dinwiddie, who's also released, he's about to sign with the Lakers. So that's the buyout season. So now it's time, again, you got all these players that are available and try to catch on. I think they had to be on the roster. I want to say, but no, they have to be released by the 15th and on a roster by the end of the season in order to be eligible for the playoffs, or somewhere around there, something like that. I don't know the exact dates, but anyway. So which brings us to the question: Spencer Dinwiddie signs with the Lakers today, D. But does that now allow the Lakers to win? But the bigger question is, will LeBron win another chip in LA?
No.
Same with me. No and no.
But that's the new age person's GOAT though. He's supposed to be able to elevate everybody to championship level.
Well, you can't elevate all 14 other players. I mean,
I
think he's at an age to where he can't do it anymore. As far as elevate his team to the point where they go to the championship and win another championship.
And I think that I don't know in what ways LeBron's game, because we forget he's been in the league a long time.
20 years.
In what ways his game at his age still adapts to the way that the game is played now. LeBron's not a 3-point shooter. He's not any of that kind of thing, right? So I think that it because he's always been a player essentially that has kind of been ball dominant and kind of played the point forward or however it is that you want to look at it. I don't know if now he can do that anymore at the level that he is without them having more. They need somebody more than Spencer Dinwiddie. I guess is really my point. Is there's no way LeBron can carry all of them to the championship because AD is consistently inconsistent. And he really needs AD, but AD ain't always there when LeBron needs him. And so to me, Spencer Dinwiddie, it does not necessarily seem to be the answer to what the Lakers really need. I think your boy, what's his name? You know who I'm thinking of, that they just paid, Reeves. I don't think he's playing as well as they wanted him to play, as they expected him to play this year. If he was playing better, then I think maybe Dinwiddie, him coming to the Lakers might give them some hope of getting out of where are they now at the
9th, I think. Last I checked.
Are they 9th? So they still in the playoff.
They're in the play-in.
I mean the play-in. So no. So now that I think about that, no, I don't see anything that Spencer Dinwiddie adds to the team that's going to get them out of the playoff.
And I was saying
first round if they make it out of the playoff.
I was telling Rod earlier that I believe that Spencer Dinwiddie is very similar to D'Angelo Russell in the way he plays. He's a scoring guard, but Russell's actually better than Dinwiddie. And so, and to the other part, LeBron, at this age, I think is, we shouldn't be expecting him to carry a team to NBA championship. The idea was for AD to step up and become that number one guy, and LeBron number 2, by this point, and them kind of ride it out that way. But that never happened because, like Dorian pointed out, the inconsistencies with AD. He's going to give you 30 points one game and about 10 points the next. So that's not going to work. And the other guys, well, like I tell everybody, I think the issue is LeBron's ball dominance. I think if he would go ahead and let the other guys play, meaning Reeves and Russell, let them play their games, and LeBron just fill in the holes, on the team as far as what's needed. Be that, a utility guy. He's still going to get 20 points and, 5 assists. He might not get his 8 to 10 assists because he won't have the ball as much. And then AD needs to dominate. But like we said, that's not going to happen because AD promises to be an inconsistent player.
But dudes, but again, and I'm asking you this question because that was kind of the point that I was making. It's like if you take the ball out of LeBron's hands, what does he do? Like he's not a spot up shooter. Are you really expecting him for if D'Angelo Russell is if they playing a 1-4 at the top or whatever? Are you really expecting LeBron to allow D'Angelo Russell and Reeves to penetrate and then kick it to him for the 3? Is he going to be the spot up shooter now? Are you expecting him to rebound? That kind of thing. Maybe rebound and bring the ball up or do whatever. It's like where without him being as ball dominant as he's been, where does he fit now in the NBA or even with the Lakers?
I see LeBron as he still has a slashing ability. He's been drinking from the fountain of youth, so he still could be a slasher. So he's going to get his points that way. He can still do some isolation things or whatever. The little post up fadeaway is kind of ugly, but he can do that. And as well as hustle points, but he would have more energy. All three of us both have played the point guard, so we know it takes a lot of energy to bring the ball up the court, against the pressure, pressure the defense, and to have to do that and also make plays, and then also to score. He's doing all of that.
Right.
So they need to relieve him of some of that, and I believe Russell has proven he can do some of that. He's not a great passer by any stretch of the imagination, but he's effective.
I'm about to say he's not
great. You saw how great they both played when LeBron was out. That wasn't really a one-off because they've showed over time that they could actually play with the ball in their hands. But I think LeBron is so I still think LeBron is a great player. So I still think he could be effective.
Just doing other things.
Yeah, doing other things, and he's still going to have the ball. I just don't think he should have it as much. He shouldn't be the focus like he is. But like I said, most of it was because AD should have stepped up by this point, and he's proven that he won't, and he promises to never be able to do that.
The thing about LeBron, to answer the question, I think he can win. He won't win, but he can. And the reason I think he can win is because he still has all the talent in the world. The brother is still one of the top 5 basketball players in the league right now, even at, what is he, 38, 39?
39, I think.
He's still one of the top. So he has the ability to do it. But because he's done, like D said, because he's done this for so long, there is no way he's going to humble himself ever and say, you know what? Instead of me trying to get 28 a game, let me just get 21 and, let my other teammates do what they do. So that way, again, he, like you said, dudes, he can be fresher during the latter parts of the game. He won't do that. And if you look back at history, most of the greats couldn't. Exactly. And it's no
they could change their games. The one that could, they were
Jordan couldn't do it.
They played longer.
Do it. When Jordan was at Washington, he came back. Jordan wanted to beat Jordan.
Jordan stunted the team's growth.
And he studied it, and that's what's happening with the Lakers, because D'Angelo Russell, man, for what it's worth, D'Angelo Russell is a hell of a basketball player. He can score with the best of them. He's a good 3-point. Look at his stats right now.
Yeah,
he's balling. He's learned now, even though he had all that rumors that was going around. They're gonna trade him for Murray, blah blah blah. D'Angelo Russell for DeJounte Murray would have been a stupid trade, because Murray's not as good a 3-point shooter as he is, and that's all you're gonna be able to do with any team. LeBron
exactly.
Sit in the corner and wait for the pass to come to you and shoot the 3. But that's not Murray's game. Russell has learned now. It's taken him a while to learn it, but he's learned now. All right, I'm just gonna sit out here and I'm gonna get the ball, and once I get it, I'm shooting it.
And you see, lately they've been bringing Russell off the bench so he can have the ball, and that's when his play really picked up.
Play better
because he's in when LeBron's out and he has the ball, and that's when the Lakers are thriving.
So, no, he won't. So we gonna move away from LeBron. But speaking of AD, because he's known as, who gave him that nickname? Was it Charles Barkley?
Charles Barkley.
But there's a lot of players that have been in street clothes lately. And the new rule for this year is that in order to qualify for any of the postseason awards, you have to play in a minimum of 65 games. And that's going to be some big time players that's not going to hit that mark. Mainly last year's MVP. Joel Embiid will not be a repeat MVP winner because he's out for the. They said a minimum of the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just. Actually, it said they'll reevaluate him in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even mean that he's going to start playing or even start practicing, but they're going to reevaluate him in 3 weeks. So he's going to miss that 65 game mark. Tyrese Halliburton is on the verge of missing that. If he has one more injury, he's going to miss it. And if he misses it, he won't be on one of the all NBA teams, which will cost him a whopping $40 million.
$40 million.
$40 million. So, so dudes, one of the reasons why Embiid tried to play the other day is because anyway, I'm sorry, I got a message from Instagram. I don't know what just happened, but anyway,
I got that message too.
Me too.
One of the reasons why Embiid tried to play through his injury is because he wanted the ability to get that MVP, and he was arguably the leading.
I think it wasn't even an argument. I think he was probably going to be first place in the MVP vote.
So how do you think it's affecting players' mindset about going out here and playing?
Well, I think it's affecting the guys by the players because they're I mean, the whole intent of the rule was to get the guys to through and the guys that could actually play that weren't injured, force them to play. And sometimes you have the guys with the little nagging injuries and hurts or whatever to push through some of those if you possibly could. And the fact that Embiid and Halliburton, both of those guys right now, they are actually injured. Mm-hmm. Embiid had been hampered with knee problems prior to the injury that he sustained, and a lot of it was due to overuse. He was pushing himself to play through in order to get the MVP, and it just came to a head when he tore his meniscus, and having sustained that injury before, that's a rough one. It's hard to call. He might be able to come back in 4 to 6 weeks. Or it might take quite longer. Gilbert Arenas suffered that injury, and he was never the same.
Right.
So that's real tricky. And then Ron Artest suffered the injury and came back in like a week or two. But he's a little,
right.
That way. Yeah, he's a little touched.
Hey,
but
he might be a fast healer on Meta World Peace.
Exactly.
One of them dudes.
But yeah. So and then the Halliburton, I've been watching him play. And even Barkley and those guys said the same thing. He's not right. A hamstring injury is kind of rough to play through because it only gets worse the more you play.
Right.
It gets tighter and tighter and tighter to finally, a complete tear. So, he's jeopardizing his season, his team as far as the playoffs go. And then as far as his career, you're jeopardizing that by pushing through. And it's a shame, even though Halliburton was upset, it's not just the players' fault, that they were taking the games off when they weren't injured. It was, Popovich, we all know that, he started this stuff. So it's not just the players, but the players, they are guilty of taking games off when they know they were injured. They didn't have a problem sitting out and getting paid for, not playing. So, the big issue is, what's the answer?
Well, I don't know if there's an answer. I think for me, I got a couple of things. One, I think that this becomes part of the problem when you start incentivizing individual awards.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of just paying someone,
I'm sorry.
instead of just
Nebraska just took a 1-point lead. They came back.
Over
Iowa on a big 3.
So instead of paying someone for their labor to play, you're paying them to get an MVP award. You're paying them, well, you'll get extra if you get this. You'll get extra if you get that. So you use these monetary things to incentivize these individual awards, which were once just about, well, who was the best player, this kind of thing. Now it becomes something else, right? because it's the prestige of these guys being considered the greatest of all time, right? You know, because we've gotten to that idea now that everybody wants to be the GOAT. Everybody wants to be making history. I was mentioning the other day, Rodney, we was talking, I was like, how they'll say, yeah, you know, they'll tell these players, yeah, you know, in an interview, you know, you're the first player under 25 to score 5 points in the last 2 minutes of a game in 3 consecutive games. You've made history. And they look like, how is that hit? You know, these kinds of stats. So they're chasing these kinds of things. And then you add money to it. Well, it's going to make them stress themselves now, because if I don't win MVP, I ain't going to get this $40 million. If I don't win MVP, if I don't play this many games, I'm not going to get MVP. If I don't play this many games, I'm not going to be this, you know, that kind of thing. So in a way, the players, in a sense, kind of put themselves in a trick bag, right? By agreeing to this, right? And also, again, allowing for these types of individual awards to become part of bargaining, to become part of my contract. So I think that that's the issue. Now, also, what Dude said, I always think about the program, right? Now, as far as playing through these injuries and stuff goes, I always think about the movie The Program. When Omar Epps got hit, and the coach, James Caan, may rest in peace, was like, are you injured or are you hurt? And he was like, what do you mean? He said, are you injured or are you hurt? If you hurt, then you can get up and play again. If you injured, then we need to come get somebody to come get you off the field, so on and so forth. And he's like, okay, you know, yeah. So that's what I think about. If you hurt, then you can play through it. If you injured, that's something totally different. And again, just piggybacking off what Dude said, why put the rest of your career in jeopardy when you know you're really injured just because you're chasing an MVP award?
But that, in the case of Halliburton, man, that's
$40 million is something. It's kind of hard to leave on the table.
$40 million.
I know it is. And I'm not saying,
but he can make it up later.
Yeah, he can make it up later. And I'm not saying that it's not, but come on. I mean, at a certain point, once you get up into that kind of money,
hundreds of millions,
once you get into the hundreds of millions of dollars, I mean, come on. You know, look, again, we make this joke all the time. You know, to quote Eddie Murphy, now I got $150 million and $70. You know what I mean? It really becomes that, you know, when you get up into that kind of money. And again, don't get me wrong, 40 million, you know, saying this from somebody who's a brokenaire, right? Of course you can't turn down, you don't want to have to turn down that kind of money or that kind of thing. But once you start getting up into them hundreds of millions, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and we've all had like pull hamstring strain or strain hamstrings. I've even torn mine before, so we know that's a rough one to play through because you really can't run, you can't sprint at all.
That's right. You can't sprint, you can't change direction. But think about this though, like Dude said, you'll make it back up later, but why jeopardize the rest of your career for 40 million when you could probably end up making 200 and something million, 250 million, 300 something million down the road? Why jeopardize it now just for the 40 when you can possibly make, if you come back 100%, you know, you can make 100 million, 150 million, 200 million or whatever over the life of your career. So,
when you negotiate your next contract, tack another 40 million on there at the end of it during negotiation.
But it's 40 million I missed, right? So
all right, so update. Nebraska is now up 3 with 18 seconds left. Iowa has the ball. What's the possibility you think? Oh, don't. All right, never mind. Iowa's down 1. Fowler.
Where's Caitlin at? That's for scoring.
They had 3 girls surrounding Caitlin. She was not getting that ball. Not getting that ball.
They played 2-on-4, but
to the point where the center was under the basket by herself, so they just threw her the ball. She scored, now they down by 1. But they had 3 girls around Caitlin. She was not gonna get that ball ever. Wasn't gonna happen. Somebody gonna beat me. It ain't gonna be you. Hold up, 3 on Caitlin and 1 on the person throwing the ball in. So they just had people just standing around.
4 other people open.
So, but the
STEPH.
Sorry. The oh yeah. Caitlin is great. Yes, she is. But boy, woo! That boy Steph.
Steph
has been on a tear these last couple of games.
Man, these last couple of years, career.
Yeah, been on the tear, for the whole career. Whole career. But that game last night with against the Suns took the lead. Golden State down 3. I'm sorry, down 2. They were down 2. Inbound pass to Steph. Steph started shooting with his back to the basket. He started his motion with his back to the basket. And the ball went through so clean, man. You didn't hear nothing.
Straight nets.
Just swish. like the video decent. The ball goes through the net, man. You think it was an air ball. It ain't touched nothing. It touched nothing. But Steph is just 14 seconds. I'm sorry, let me get out this play-by-play. Caitlin has the ball at the top. Oh, they're gonna foul her. Yeah. Make her shoot. Make her shoot from the line. She not gonna get no 3 off on this game.
Steph remind me of our favorite commercials. Dudes, them Reebok commercials. Lamar Mundane. You think about playground legends. You got to think of a man by the name of Lamar Mundane. I see him rain jumpers on people 4, 5, 6 in a row. And that will do. I'm calling him money.
Slam dunks are tough.
But when a 35-footer come raining out the sky, it'll wire you up. Big showtime. Play the middle at 6'4". He can do anything a 7-footer can do. I remember all those. It was a dope commercial.
Oh man!
But anyway,
I think those are still the best commercials.
Man, still the best. Yeah. But yeah, man, you can't say I can. It's nothing much that I can really say. That's why I said I saw that, man. I was like, Steph is this dude. He's phenomenal, man. He and I think the thing about Steph too is, again, from the era that we grew up watching, is to watch somebody do all of this shooting threes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, it's like it makes you think about, again, going back to, for those who don't remember, or who are too young to remember those Reebok commercials. He was like, they said people just start calling him money. He come down and shoot a 15-footer, everybody on the court be yelling, lay up. As soon as he pull up.
Talk about playground legends. You gotta bring up a guy named Lamar Mundane. I've seen him just rain jump shots on people. 4, 5, 6 shots in a row. People just started calling him money. Yeah, because when he shot, it was money in the bank. He come down and shoot a 15-footer. Everybody on the side be hollering, lay up. Slam dunks are tough. When a 35-footer come raining out the sky, it'll wire you up.
It'll wire you up.
Wearing Reeboks.
So I'm mad. You knew the entire commercial.
Yeah,
we all did, but that was dudes used to say that when we used to play. I'm gonna wire you up. I'm wire you up. I'm wiring them up. I remember, but for real, tell me a time, honestly, that you watch Steph play, that he pulls up that you don't think is money. If he missed, you're surprised that he missed.
Even if he missed 6 in a row, you always think that 7th one gonna go in.
Even if it's a 40-footer, a 30 or 40-footer.
And how many players can we really honestly say that we watched where the totality of their game was from the perimeter and they dominated the game like that from the perimeter? It's not very many of them.
Yeah, his game is inconceivable still to me. Man. When I watch it, I just look at whoever I'm over there with watching it, and I just shake my head like,
it's like
I can't believe it. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
It's like he don't miss, man. It's like as soon as he pull up, you're like, oh, that's money.
And what is Steph like? Is he 34 or 35?
When he came in 08?
He might be 34, I believe.
When he in that 08 draft? 07 draft?
I believe so. I think he's
35.
35.
Oh man, you know what? Bruh, he about to be 36 on March 14th.
Right.
Go, Steph. And he's balling. You don't even you see no drop off. Matter of fact, if anything, he's getting better as he gets older.
Is. Right.
Which is
you could play longer with a shot.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
That's what's hurting Clay right now. His shot is gone.
Yep. And Steph can still run around and get around the screen. So even late into his career, he can still be effective for a team because he can be that spot up shooter that I don't necessarily think LeBron can be. Steph can be that.
Oh yeah.
And
he could move the 2 guard on offense and play the points on D and
right, man. So look,
so he can stay. He could play for a while.
Modern game to the modern.
Are you giving him 3 more years,
Steph?
Yeah. You think he can play this well for 3 more years,
barring injury?
Yeah, I think he got it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so if let me so you know what again we can.
He's not going to the Knicks. No.
No. We can do this stuff when we live. I can look up Steph's his stats to see where he ranks. So he has a career 25 points a game. Man, wow. He averaged 6.4 assists a game.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he averaged that many assists. For his career, he's a 47% field goal shooter, 43 from 3, 91 from the free throw line.
That's crazy.
That's just that's it. And then you have to also understand that he missed pretty much a whole season.
With those ankle injuries.
Ankle injuries, yep. And then the one with the broken wrist.
Oh yeah.
Even though we know they were taken to get Wiseman, who they gave away. but still, he missed a whole lot of that season with that broken wrist too. So.
But if you look at the beginning of his career, when the outside people were questioning why did they draft a 6 foot. Well, he's 6'3". He is actually 6'3". I ain't gonna say but he was like 160 pounds when they drafted him. Why would they draft this 6'3", 160?
And they already had Monte Ellis, who was about the same height and weight,
and was super athletic.
Right.
The thing is, they had just given him a big contract. So you have this. So why would you draft this kid? And then he comes in and he gets hurt. So then all the questions come in. Questioning why did you draft this dude? And then Steph did what Steph does. And he just took off. What do
you say Mark Jackson told him when they traded Monte Ellis? Don't make a fool out of me, son. Or don't make a fool out of me, or don't make a liar out of me, son. Something he told him. He said, all right. Just showed you the confidence Mark Jackson had in it. He knew Mark Jackson knew.
Mark Jackson was saying it. I remember Mark Jackson was saying it early in their career that Steph and Clay were the best shooters ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, that can't be. It has to be like a coach's bias.
You saw Larry Bird.
Yeah. But I'm saying, they were so young, and we were thinking ourselves, he's biased because those are his players or whatever. We've seen Ray Allen, Reggie, Larry Bird, and those guys.
Right.
But I guess seeing it every day, and we saw the video clips of Steph and Clay hitting 89 threes out of 100 or 87, and which doesn't seem to be humanly possible, but with them,
Apparently it is.
Bruh, most people can't even hit 89 free throws in a row. They up here hitting 89 3-pointers.
Right? How many threes do you think you can make out of 100?
Out of 100 right now?
NBA threes.
It depends.
Not at the pop-up shot in the back of the room.
It depends on what 3-point line we're talking about. NBA,
and not with a girls' ball either. Yeah,
NBA out of 100.
Ooh. I'm shooting now. Oh, I'm shooting about.
I'm gonna get at least 25.
Yeah, hold on, stop. Let's say our primes, because now my elbow will go out after probably about 10 shots.
Bro,
even in my prime, I can get you about 35. I'll get about 35 out of 100 in my prime. So I take my 35%.
I'd probably say I was probably about 32%.
But right now.
Now, you cut that in half, and
right now,
and then cut that in half. and then cut that in half.
And take the square root.
Just keep cutting.
So right now I'm at about 3.4%. Yeah.
Bruh, hold up. We went to this event at the Piston thing, and one of the things they let you shoot. You get to shoot a 3. And if you hit the 3, they gave you like a discount. I think I was about 8 feet short.
Oh,
hey, Rod, remember? Did y'all remember the guy at the Laker game that they had to make the half court shot, and he pulled a muscle in his back, hurt his hip, and tore his Achilles on one shot? That would be me. The man grabbed his back, he grabbed his Achilles, and fell to the floor. I said, "Yep." I said that would be me. If I won the shot, I would ask. I say, "Hey, go ahead and get that to somebody else."
Hold up. I got full disclosure. So I shot the shot. I was about 8 feet short, and y'all know I can't take that line down.
I know you did. That's why I said you didn't hear me say how many shots did you shoot.
You know I can't take that line. I'm like, give it back.
And the next shot was 7.5 feet short.
It's about 10 feet short. What? It'll get worse. I'm like, come on, man, get the ball back. It was horrible. But hold up. On like my 7th shot. On the 7th
got within 3 feet.
It hit the rail.
On the 7th one. But man, woo.
And it was from NBA range, or where was it from?
It was NBA range. You don't realize
how far.
Oh, I realize
how far of a shot that is. You go out there, you all cold. You just don't. The first one, man, when the first one was so short, I was like, y'all gotta give me that ball back. They said, you only get one shot. I don't care. Give me that ball back. I don't care about the money. Give me the ball back.
Look, now I remember me and D and who's it? Big Rud, Donald Ray, and Bo. We were playing around the world, and it was like a legends around the world. You know, we consider ourselves legends.
Playground legends.
The first game went okay. Bo, stays in the gym all the time, so quite naturally he beat us.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere at the beginning of the second game, my elbow went out. And I couldn't shoot it anymore.
Yeah, just
everybody else was quite off too. I think Bo was the only one that was coming close.
Father Time is undefeated.
Oh, look, was that you with me when we went to? It was like
at a carnival. You shot like 50 shots.
Yes.
Roddy shot like 50 shots. Didn't make none of them.
But I won that bear at the end though.
Yeah,
but you steal it.
But you spent like $60. You could have just went to the store and got one a whole lot cheaper.
He bought the bear.
It ain't the same. It ain't the same.
You could have bought one from the store a whole lot cheaper. The amount of money that you spent on that bear trying to make that shot.
That is truth right there. That is true. He's
like, no, I gotta make it. I was like, man.
The rim is about this big.
He's not gonna give up.
Remember, we went and looked, and they had taken them and turned it into it was almost like an oval.
Yep.
It was almost like how your eyelids are. You know how they kind of come in and then come around. And so the only way you were actually really gonna ever be able to make a shot is you're just gonna have to hit it straight nets every single time.
Don't touch the rim at all.
Or hit it perfectly off the backboard and have it go in. Yeah, they had it rigged like that. But yeah, Rodney spent about $60 to win a bear.
That's about this big.
I was just about to say, and it was about this big. He could have got one from the Hallmark store for $8.99.
I was gonna win that bear, man. That bear was coming home with me.
I remember we used to have those classic around the world games, and I would take off in the lead every time and get stuck in that corner. Remember, you always had to make those 2 shots in the corner. And everybody would eventually pass me up.
I always feel like
I'd still be stuck in the corner.
Challenge.
Speaking of,
I could make the first shot in the corner, but that second shot, I don't know why.
Woo.
Speaking of around the world,
good segue.
Speaking of around the world, Sabrina and Steph. Who you with?
So, hey, it's just like when we'll talk about it's the thing about Pat Mahomes. I don't care when. I can't go against Pat Mahomes. I can't go against Steph. Sabrina is great, and she will probably beat him. I just can't go against Steph, man. I just can't. Because he's the Steph shot is so pure. It is so difficult for me to ever think, like you dude just said, that he's ever miss a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, how many 3-point challenges has he actually won?
I think he got 1 or 2. I think.
I know he got 1. I know he has 1.
I think he has more than 1.
Look it up, stat guy.
Look it up, stats. But yeah, I want to see Sabrina because that'll be a very interesting discussion after she beats him.
He's got 2.
He has 2.
Yeah, he's got 2.
He ain't Larry Bird though.
Yeah, Steph got 2. Steph got 2. Jason Capono has 2. Mark Price has 2. Jeff Hornacek has 2.
Jason Capono.
Bird has 3.
Yeah, Bird and Craig Hodges.
Mm-hmm. Craig Hodges.
And then Peja has 2.
I mean, does Clay have?
Huh?
Clay got 1, I think. Yeah, Clay got 1, I think.
Let's see.
Didn't he beat Steph the first time they were in it?
I thought he beat Steph.
Clay won in 15.
Yeah, I thought he beat Steph. That's when they were the true Splash Brothers at that time.
Yeah, because Steph won in 14-15, and then Clay won in 15-16, and then Steph won in 2021.
Matter of fact, let me move this right here.
So
who you with, D?
Steph. And again, I can't argue with anything that you're saying. However, what I will say is that I actually saw Sabrina Ionescu in that 3-point championship where she set the record, and she pure too.
Oh, she got a shot.
She's pure. But I just have to, and I watch her play, in college, and also in the pros. And I just think that Steph, when it comes down to it and they get to shooting, that just for some reason Steph is just going, and I don't. It's not that I'm not, and I also am not saying that he just gonna go out there and just blow her out or anything of that nature. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But I think in the end, I think just the fact that this cat has God-given shooting ability.
Well, I lost the rules, but the rules are here they are. It's 4 ball racks with 4 balls and 1 money ball. The 5th rack is a special rack with all money balls, and they have the option to put that rack wherever they want to put it. There are 2 starry range shots.
Yeah, shit. Steph can put his in the parking lot. It wouldn't matter.
If they hit it with a game ball, it's 1 point. If they hit it with a money ball, it's 2 points. And if they hit a shot in the starry range, it's 3 points. And then Steph is shooting from the NBA line with the NBA basketballs, and Sabrina is shooting from the WNBA line with WNBA basketballs.
That's
exactly those are the rules. Those are the rules. Who you got, dudes?
I have to go Steph. My father said a long time ago, God loves Steph. Because there's no other way that a person can make the shots that he makes. He's one of God's favorites. But I couldn't go against Steph, and I wouldn't bet against him for sure.
That's the issue. I can't. Yeah, I like Sabrina. I just can't bet against Steph, man.
Saying that Sabrina will probably win because we're the worst at predictions.
Yes, that is so true.
So if I was you, I'd feel great about my chances right now.
We are, as Greeny say, we are definitely the kiss of death.
Kiss of death, right?
But that's one of the things. I don't know when they're gonna have this. I don't know if it's gonna be at the All-Star game or whatever. But that brings us to our next topic, and that is: have All-Star games and activities worn out their welcome? D, I'm gonna start with you. And we're talking about NFL, NBA,
all of
NHL, baseball, all of them.
Yes. The only thing about this, the only All-Star game that has real, true competition is Major League Baseball.
True.
Where they actually go out and play as hard as they can using all of the skills that they have to play in the game. Not even that the game means anything or whatever, but the pitcher's gonna come out. If they throw 100, they trying to throw 100. If you know all of that, they gonna steal bases, they hitting the home runs, they doing all of that. Even the biggest activity of All-Star Weekend for baseball is part of the game, and it's great. Home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how many times I see home run derby. I'm amazed at how far and how consistent these cats can hit the ball out the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
All the rest of them suck.
Trash.
Don't get us sued, Rodney. But all the rest of them suck. They really. I'm so tired of the NBA's All-Star Weekend. The slam dunk. I mean, the 3-point contest is great. Don't get me wrong. Now I look forward to the 3-point contest. But the All-Star.
I like the skills competition too.
The slam dunk contest. Oh man, I can't. And I've said this before on our regular podcast, on the Blame It on the Boogie podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. If for the nobody that's out there. But they need to do a competition. We see these cats on YouTube all the time. Let them come dunk. Since the NBA players don't want to do it. And again, how do we know that they don't want to do it? One, we never get any of the stars that want to come out and dunk. Two, it is so obvious that they don't practice the dunks. Let these cats that we see on YouTube and Facebook and all of this kind of stuff that do dunk, dudes, you send them to us all the time from IG and all of that, where these cats be doing some dunks. Let them come for $250,000. Have a regional competition for however long or whatever. Keep it private so nobody gets to see the dunks. You got to do that. Keep it private so nobody gets to see the dunks. Have these cats qualify, and then All-Star Weekend they come and they showcase those dunks for All-Star Weekend. Let them do that because man, I am so tired of folks licking cupcake icing off the top of the rim and blowing out candles and coming out of phone booths. What's that got to do with dunking? You know, so
that's not in the game. That's
singing with a choir.
You know, man, coming out there in some Timbos trying to dunk. Come on, for real. I mean, what kind of sense does that make? You know, it's like. So it's anyway. So yeah, I'm done.
So to your point, D, we have one.
I watched the NHL All-Star game, and I didn't quite understand it. It looked kind of weird. And we all know that the football All-Star game, even the Pro Bowl, has been terrible for the longest. And flag football is even worse. I don't want to play flag football. I do not want to see that. So just tell them that they made the Pro Bowl, give them their NFL awards, and then move on. Because whatever it is that they doing that y'all got us trying to pay money for on Sunday, it's worse than a bowl game. You see the attendance at that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, nobody in the stands want to see that, man. So just do away with it. But good job, Major League Baseball.
So D, here are the 2024 NBA dunk contest participants. You have one. Everyone probably knows his name, and it's Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. You may remember this person from last year, Matt McClung. But there's a little issue. He's still not in the NBA. He's still in the G League.
And he wasn't in the NBA last year either.
He wasn't in the NBA last year. You have a rookie from Miami, Jaime Jaquez, who I don't think I've ever seen him dunk in a game.
I don't think he was going to say Jaime Jackass.
That's what I thought he was going to say.
That's what I thought he was going to say. I was going to say, why you call that man a jackass?
Live.
That is not what I said, Jaime. That is not what I said. But also you have and the only reason he's interested in me is because he's of course on my New York Knicks, and that's Jacob Toppin, who's a two-way player for the Knicks that hasn't. I think he's played like 4 minutes all year. So,
well, maybe they got time to practice the dunks since they don't play.
That might be true. That might be true. But yeah, they need and we talked about this off the podcast for forever, D, about having the regional having the YouTube dunkers come out there and put on a show. And then what it will do is the thing is, if you put a big enough pot out there, and the NBA has 50 million sponsors, they can get these sponsors to get together, and we putting up $10 million, which is nothing for these people. I got $10 million to the winner of the slam dunk contest. And then you're not getting paid, going up to that time. But, we judging the dunks. And like I said, we're going to bring the 8 best dunkers and go against the 8 best dunkers in the NBA. Or however many, 4 and 4. I don't care how many you put out there. But whatever it is, I got 4 dunkers from the NBA, and there's a $10 million pot at the end of this rainbow that you can compete for. Then maybe you can get, and even if these players, Anthony Edwards, man, I would love to see Anthony Edwards in the dunk contest. And he's only what, 23, 24?
Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell, John Morant.
Out there. I would love to see that. Even if you don't think that $10 million is worth your time and effort, then donate your $10 million to charity.
Yeah.
If you win, this $10 million goes to your charity. So what does that do? It makes you look great because you donated.
And the thing is, I mean, like I said, I don't think they embrace competition anymore. Everything is, so money related. And but the thing is, imagine how far it would catapult your career if you are a great player to, because those guys are famous anyway. But imagine where their career would go if they won a slam dunk contest. If they're known as slam dunk winners.
Wow, I'm going brain dead.
I mean, think about what it did for Dr. J, Dominique Wilkins, Spud, Will, from those guys.
The forward from the Clippers that jumped over the Kia.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin turned that one dunk into millions of dollars on in advertising dollars. He jumped over a freaking car.
And millions of dollars in NBA contracts.
In front of a church choir. Don't leave that part out.
It was a stupid dunk, but it was different. And again, it allowed him to create even more money. So you have to look at it as a business. I think that's what Jaylen Brown is doing right now. He's looking at this as a business decision for him. He goes out there and wins this dunk contest. It's going to catapult him to, because he doesn't get commercials. I think I've seen Jaylen Brown in one commercial, in only one commercial. But yeah, it can generate even more. Now he gonna have to commit himself, because you don't want to be the person to go out there and lose to Matt McClung, Jacob Toppin, and Jackass.
Oh yeah, and Jaylen Brown could get up too. So it's just if he's creative enough. That's the question.
He got some hops. But other than that, I do like the skills competition. I do like that. Sometimes they just horrible. When they had the big guys going against the little guys, that was just stupid. Big guys couldn't even dribble.
But I know I get nostalgic, from time to time. But man, remember when we couldn't wait to see the All-Star NFL All-Star getting the Pro Bowl, and I remember they used to come on the same day. Y'all don't remember that? That was like early 80s. They used to come on the same day. Oh man. Ryan, you remember how excited we used to be?
That's must-see TV.
God,
must-see TV. Shoot,
I mean, and when you think about it, I've only seen that I can remember. I seen 2 people get injured in an All-Star game, so I really can't see why they don't go all out. I seen, I think Larry Bird got his nose broken by Adrian Dantley in the All-Star game, and it's accidental. And Kobe, it was Dwayne Wade broke Kobe nose that time.
And the thing about
they're accidental. I mean, that's going to happen from time to time.
You've never seen a person get hurt in a dunk contest.
Yeah, but even in All-Star games, you didn't see hard fouls in the All-Star game. They used to play defense.
They play defense, but
there's no cheap shots.
Right.
So I don't understand why you can't play all out in the All-Star game.
That's it. But it started with the 2000s. I ain't gonna say no specific person. but it started doing the.
No, what was the one when LeBron and Steph Curry when they were laying on the ground on fast break to let somebody dunk or whatever?
Come on, man. You know, so that okay, in the 90s, in the 80s, right? Let's start in the 80s. In the 80s, the NBA All-Star game was
right. You remember the 60s, don't you?
I remember them. It was very challenging. I mean, they go out there. Magic dishing the ball, but they was playing defense. The score.
Remember, Magic and Isaiah would force the pace, and they'd be going back and forth, up and down against each other.
They were playing defense. It wasn't this. Okay, you got the ball. Go ahead and dunk. You got the ball. Go ahead and dunk. You know, or shoot that three from across half court. Let's see who can hit. Come on, man. It wasn't about that. But now it's not basketball that you can watch. I don't even watch it to tell you.
Yeah, they just come up the court and shoot threes. You bring it up, you shoot it, then the guy he brings it up and shoot it, then this guy over here brings it up and shoot it.
Yeah, I'll see the highlight.
3-point competition looks like.
Right. But no, it's not something that's
it's not a competition because they don't compete. But
it's an issue for all of these leagues because of the fact that there's way more people like us that don't really want to watch that because it's not the sport that we
basketball,
enjoy. Yeah, it's not the sport that we enjoy. So what that's doing is your sponsors that are paying big money for these advertisements that nobody's actually watching these games for, gonna come back to you and be like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna need a refund on that, bro, because y'all putting out some trash." That's two. I got one more. One more before we get sued, D.
Before he come looking for you.
It's the 3-pump rule.
Say garbage.
Hot garbage.
So yeah, it's a lot that needs to be worked on. And they're gonna have to figure out something.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's never an easy transition to any of these. But we do want to issue our condolences to the families of Earl CURETON and also of Carl Weathers.
Apollo Creed.
You got Apollo, but he was more than just Apollo. He played
Action Jackson.
Right. He was Action Jackson. Right. Also, what's his name?
He was in Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Oh,
Happy Gilmore too.
What was his name in Happy Gilmore?
I gotta look for it.
But hey, but on Action Jackson, he had Vanity.
Oh, he did have Vanity.
Oh, yeah, he did. He was Chubbs Peterson. That was his name.
Chubbs Peterson.
So,
and then Earl CURETON, who was NBA great, played for the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Detroit, that's a big loss because he was active in the community, and that's the stuff that not going to attention, but that's the stuff that a lot of people don't even pay attention to, and that's the things that these players do off the court that they don't even publicize. CURETON was big into philanthropy. So shout out to Earl CURETON for doing all the wonderful things that he did. And again, condolences to his family, to Apollo, Carl Weathers, and his family. BIOTB says, job well done, fellas. You shall be missed. Any others? If not, we move it on. And we shall go.
Right. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
All right, D. So one of the things that we talked about this week was an interview that you saw with Deion Sanders. Tell the people what they talked about.
Well, he was clearing something up, which I thought was interesting. He was talking about the NIL stuff, and he said what people think is NIL is not really NIL, name, image, and likeness. He says what's happening is that what they have is these collectives. He said he doesn't have a problem with NIL. He said and I believe, again, I didn't see the whole entire thing to know what the context was, but he was talking about it's these collectives that are causing the problem. And basically, so if you look it up, if you Google it, NIL collectives, it says, put simply, NIL collectives are independent organizations that fundraise money for various universities and give it to the attending student give it to the attending college athletes in the form of NIL agreement payouts.
So it's a loophole.
Yeah, so essentially what you've done is you have all of the stuff that was illegal when we were younger, like with SMU and the death penalty, and what happened with Eric Dickerson and Craig James with the Pony Express, and you know, all of this stuff where they, you know, these NCAA sanctions,
$100 handshakes,
right? Coaches was getting fired and all of this kind of stuff. Now you said, okay, all of that's okay. So now these boosters at these major universities who already had money, they were the boosters anyway. So now you've made a way for them to be able to pay these players to come to school. So I think it's a catch-22 situation for someone. You know, shout out to the squad at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where I went to with you know, Dana and Kevin Hardy and Simeon Rice, and you know, all of them cats that, you know, I got a chance to meet, and, you know, B-Hop, Brad Hopkins, and so on and so forth. What my point is that while I'm glad to see players like them finally be able to get paid, like I said, I remember distinctly, you know, us scrambling money together to buy a pizza, but we were walking to go get some wings at some place to get something to eat or to get that pizza, and we walked past the store and they selling Dana's jersey with his name on the back of it for $65, and he wasn't getting a dime of that money. So while I'm happy that players like Dana, you know, our friend Dana, and you know, all those cats, that they can now, you know, get paid for that. At the same time, I don't like this idea of, okay, well, in order to get you to come to our school, we're gonna offer you this much money. So I don't know where the balance is. They're gonna have to figure out what the balance is, how to balance that out. But I really think that that's something that they need to do, because then we go back to that old system of what they claimed that they were trying to avoid, which is all the big money schools being able to pay to get the players to come there.
And I think that's the issue. NIL in its premise is a great thing to allow all the players to actually profit off of their own name, their own image, and their own likeness. But the way that it was presented, the way that it was supposed to go was, you're able to go out there, and if you know, ABC Sporting Goods Store wanted to pay you for an appearance to come there, they can do that. Or if they wanted you to sign some autographs and, you know, you get paid, that you can do that. Or if they want to put you into this this advertising campaign, and, you know, so you can start advertising their business, you can do that.
Right.
Which is great. But the way that it's gone with these collectives, yeah, now you just paying. And it is to that point, D, where the haves will get the better players and the have-nots won't.
So all the better players will go to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I can't remember the Florida State player that went to Florida State, committed to Florida State, but then another school came up and said, I'm going to give you even more money. So then he decommitted from Florida State and went to this other school, and they complained because Florida State wouldn't match the offer. Can't remember. It was last year or the year before or whatever. It was a quarterback. It was a 5-star quarterback. But that's what you're getting to. Now they're giving these players, you know, $4, $5, $6 million just to come play for this team.
Just to come be a student. Just to come be a student at the school.
And listen, if they can get it. I'm not saying they should not get it. That is far from what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, because of the way things are, because there is no system in place to oversee this thing, and that's what they need. As much as I'm not a fan for salary caps and all that other stuff, but they need some kind of guidelines as to how this stuff's supposed to be done. Right. Some regulations. I mean, back in the day, D, you would have a person that owned a big car lot hire a player to come here. I'm going to give you $100,000 to work here, and the player never do work. Now they don't have to do all that. I don't have to say he here to because he's working. Now I'm just giving you a check. Here's your money. Just come here and play football. Come here and play basketball. And that again, as I like the fact that the players are getting paid because they deserve it, but that's a little bit. That's professional.
Right.
You are now in the realm of professional football or basketball or whatever it is. And the problem is it hurts because the University of Michigan boosters are way more affluent and have way more money than a Troy State booster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Troy State is now regulated to, hey, I can only give you $10,000. Right. Whereas the person in Michigan for that same player is saying, hey, look, you come here, I got, $500,000 for you. Right. And I'm not talking about I'm talking all the third string safety. So there has to be some kind of regulation with this thing again.
And I think the fact that everything is so new, of course, I believe they'll come up with different fail safes as to the system as it as we go along, as time goes along. But for right now, it's like everything else. Money talks, and so all the players are gonna follow the money, and it's gonna severely impact the other teams.
So what? What Nino Brown say? Money talks. Bullshit. What runs the marathon?
what I don't like is the coaches that are coming out fussing and complaining about how much these players are getting. Because
exactly when they were getting those $1 million Nike contracts all these years.
Yeah. So that's the thing I don't like. You as I say, don't get into the pockets of another man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You make what you make. They make what they make. Y'all get together. Y'all put something together and win a football game. But don't.
And they're the actual ones out there bleeding.
Right.
That's the thing that hurt me about our whole time coming up. You see those guys like Dorian said. Dana's jersey's up. Dana's broke, but his jersey up, and people are making money off of him and his name and likeness. And then even with Chris Webber, remember the Fab Five. Right. Imagine how much money, they generated from their jersey sales, or UNLV. We bought all their stuff, jerseys and T-shirts.
When Greg Anthony was at UNLV, they tried to suspend him because he developed his own business. He started selling T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
He started selling T-shirts, his own business.
And
but because he was making money, they said he couldn't play basketball.
I remember that.
Right? And so he had to stop. He had to, if he wanted to continue playing on the basketball team, he had to give up his own business.
Well, remember where he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Remember that, which just goes to show a love for the game, right? But also remember when they said this and they started talking about he was receiving enough money on his scholarship, he tried to give up his scholarship, and they wouldn't let him give up his scholarship. But you got 4 other people on the team that don't have a scholarship. But now you won't let me give up my scholarship, and maybe they can get one because I'm making enough money to be able to pay my way through school and still play basketball. That's which goes to show you the hypocrisy, the hypocracy that's going on in the NCAA, which is why I would not want the NCAA to be the governing body over this NIL, this NIL stuff.
Oh no!
But I just think it's interesting that now you've gotten to this point where you are literally. I think the thing that they didn't want is this idea of these students starting to think that they're employees. Like we just had that lawsuit that just happened, right? Where the court said basically that the football players,
the Relations Board said,
the NLRB from the New Deal came out and said that they could unionize, that they were considered employees. This is exactly what they did not want to happen, but they allowed it to happen by not having any sort of regulations or policies in place to be able to cover these NIL collectives. Because trust me, as fast as they've been working to figure out regulations, these folks are figuring out ways to get around those regulations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's one of those things, Dean, where the players were complaining, saying, "Listen, we need to get paid. We need to get paid. We need to pay. Oh no, you're a student athlete. We give you a
free education.
You getting benefit now, mind you." Back in the day, it used to be, it was what $20,000-$30,000 a year to go to the school, right? So that's what it costs you. I'm giving you a scholarship of one. 1-year scholarship. It's a 1-year scholarship that's possibly renewable.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving you $30,000 a year to come out here and play football. That's
why make billions?
That's your pay. While I'm making billions, right? So I come to you, I tell you, listen, we need to fix this. We need to fix. Oh no. You got what you're gonna get. We need to fix it.
Education.
So now the courts come in and say, no, you can't not allow them to make money off of their own name. That's their name. They own that name, not you, right? As long as they're not using University of Arizona in their commercials, and they're just using their name. I'm star quarterback for the University of Arizona. Then you can't stop them from making this money. So now they're actually out here making money. Now the NCAA said, "Oh, please come help us because we can't handle this thing. We need the government to come in and fix this. We need regulations. We need this. We need that." You had the opportunity to create a system a long time ago that would be beneficial to both parties, but you were just so
greedy.
So freaking greedy, and you think because and I'm talking about the two major sports at these universities, basketball and football, where the majority of the players are African American, right? Because they're African American. Here I go with my conspiracy theories. But because the majority of these players, you should be happy with what I give you. You should be happy. But now that they say, what they say, it ain't so fun when the rabbit got the gun. The rabbit got the gun. So now you got to deal with it. And these collectives, now they like, well, shoot, we was doing this before. We ain't got to hide in the dark no more. Here you go. Here's your money, man. How much you want? What will it take? What will it take for you to come to this school? That's all you need? All right, cool. So now what? So skip the NCAA. They should disband. As a matter of fact, they might be disbanding because the Big Ten and the SEC are talking about creating their own governing body. And if that happens, they hit. They hit. That nobody else got nothing? D eating. I'm drinking.
I mean, that's it. You said a mouthful.
Right.
It says no fun when the rabbits got the gun. You know, these coaches and you know, these universities have been making money off the backs of these players for so long. You know, I mean, it's a crime. I hate to say slavery, you know, or, you know, I don't want to, you know, disrespect slavery like that. But at the same time, you're working for nothing.
Right.
Indentured servitude.
Yeah, that.
So, all right. Now, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl. Game will start in approximately two hours. D got to get on the plane in an hour. So, we're about to run through these last couple of topics so D can get on this plane.
Run.
This week we had the announcement of the 2024 Hall of Fame inductees.
I got it pulled up.
You got it? All right, I was trying to pull it up and type at the same time. I mean, talk at the same time. I know Devin Hester made it. I'm so happy for Devin Hester.
I can tell you who it was. You know, it's only 7. They only allow so many every year.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me, D.
So we got Dwight Freeney, defensive end, Indianapolis Colts. We got Randy Gradishaw, linebacker, kick return, linebacker from the Denver Broncos. We got Devin Hester, kick returner extraordinaire from the Chicago Bears. Andre Johnson, wide receiver, Houston Texans. Steve McMichael, defensive lineman. Yeah, defensive lineman, Chicago Bears. Julius Peppers, defensive end, outside linebacker from the Carolina Panthers. And Patrick Willis, linebacker, San Francisco 49ers. That is the class of 2024. Congratulations. Well-deserved. I appreciate the NFL process more than I definitely can appreciate the baseball process. That's for sure. I think basketball, I kind of understand the basketball process that they do everything, you know, international, college, as well as professional.
But the NBA should have their own.
Yeah.
They put their whole career together.
But I think that I like the way that the NFL does it. It's a lot less subjective in terms of everyone who has the input and who has a vote, and how the players, the Hall of Famers themselves get the vote. The players are the ones that nominate. So it's never, for me, oftentimes, that the guys who got in didn't deserve it. That the guys who got in actually deserved it. But it's just because of the numbers, you wonder who's actually going to eventually end up getting in, because they only allow so many. The other leagues, it doesn't matter. But for football, they only allow so many a year. So congratulations to all those gentlemen. Well deserved. Great careers. I can never look at the NFL Hall of Fame and be like, nah, he shouldn't have been in.
It's it's a group of 20 individuals that get together. 20-person group consists of 5 modern era players and additional 15 members, known as the Centennial Slate. They're the ones that elect the Hall of Fame candidates, and they have to be they're nominated, and one of the Hall of Famers have to give the merits as to whether or not these players deserve to be in there. Basically give a presentation. They give a presentation on each player, and then they vote on. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me check. I think it has to be unanimous.
Yeah, I think the Hall of Fame is unanimous.
Okay. And it says, it says there's no set number of how many enshrinees there are in each class, but it does stipulate it's between 4 and 8 new members each year. So it's a minimum of 4, a maximum of 8.
Okay.
And when you consider the hundreds of players that come in each year, and that play that game, it's difficult to become an NFL Hall of Famer. In some respect, in basketball, for instance, basketball, they may have a class of 15 players, but it's because what D said, it's not just NBA, but it's also international, and it's college, and it's men and women. So their basketball Hall of Fame is just everything all together. And what they do is they put your whole career into perspective and decide whether or not you're a Hall of Famer. Football, you have the players themselves that have done it to say, you know what, I'm a Hall of Famer. I say, you know what, Dorian deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and this is why. Right, I'm gonna give you a whole presentation as to why Dorian needs to be in this Hall of Fame. Then they ask questions and come up to a consensus. You know what? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer, or no, he's not a Hall of Famer. And sometimes, only the great players get in on their first ballot. Only the great ones. You don't see a lot of borderline. I mean, even though they had a great career, but they're not going to get on the first time, because there's going to be a lot more, because they compare you to other players in the Hall, right? With Patrick Willis, for instance, how does he compare to Lawrence Taylor, right? Or what was my man from Chicago?
Singletary.
No, not Singletary. The other one. He just got in 2 years ago.
You talking about
wow.
Talking about number 58.
Yes. Whatever. So but they compare it to how does his career rank with this? And if it's comparable and he's in the Hall, then he's deserving to be in the Hall. Versus baseball, where I don't care what kind of stats you have.
Wilbur Marshall.
If I don't like you, if I have a personal vendetta against you, then you're not gonna get into the Hall. If I have unsubstantiated proof that you did something, you're not gonna get into the Hall. And it's just stupid. It's just a bunch of, say it like it is, a bunch of old white dudes that never played the game, that write about you, that when you were playing, they were probably the biggest supporters of you, talking about how great you are. But now that you don't play anymore, Now they talk about, oh well, he doesn't deserve to be in there because of such and such. And who's to say you have the right to tell me what I do and do not deserve? But anyway, I'll leave that. I'll leave the baseball up to D because he's the one that rants the most about it.
Yeah. I don't even want to. Right now, we talking about the Football Hall of Fame. I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah. But what we'll talk about are the NFL honors.
This isn't. I mean, it's. I think for the most part, I think it went the way we thought it was gonna go. I think the one beef that Rodney had that we talked about this, outside of here was Coach of the Year, which I could agree with him. But I mean, Cameron Hayward was Walter Payton Award. I don't know how they do that and campaign for that and decide for that. That's not on the field. Lamar Jackson was the MVP. Joe Flacco was the comeback player of the year. That's interesting because he only played the last 4-5 games of the year season. Will Anderson Jr. was the Houston Texans won out, just to go to show you how great their draft was. That Will Anderson Jr., the number 3 pick overall, was the defensive rookie of the year, and then the quarterback CJ Stroud, their number 2 overall pick, was the offensive rookie of the year. So that just goes to show you how well they drafted, and how they got some great players in that draft. Myles Garrett was defensive player of the year. Kevin Stefanski was coach of the year. Christian McCaffrey was offensive player of the year. And the other awards, I'm not sure why they give those. The CJ Stroud was rookie of the year. They have something called the Air Player, Brock Purdy, the Deacon Jones Award, TJ Watt, Salute to Service, Joe Cardona. Bobby Wagner won the Art Rooney Award. CeeDee Lamb won the NFL Player Award. Is that the Player of the Year or something? Jim Schwartz won the assistant coach. Christian McCaffrey was the ground player. Tommy DeVito. I mean, so I don't know what all the
yeah.
Najee Harris got the angry run of the year. I don't know what this is.
That's like prop bets
from the award show or something. I don't know.
That was like prop bets.
So now that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at NFL honors, and that's what popped up. So
the only one that I didn't agree with really, and I can't, not to say that Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns didn't have a great year, and the fact that he went through 4 quarterbacks to make it to the playoffs was a testament to how good a team they had.
Right.
But at the same time, Cleveland at the beginning of the season was expected to be in the playoffs. The Houston Texans had with your boy.
They expected them to come in third,
to be competing. That's like competing.
And that they would get in. They expected the Bengals and the Ravens to get in. They thought Cleveland maybe had an outside chance to get in. They wasn't expecting Pittsburgh
to do nothing.
They wasn't expecting Schittsburg to do anything.
You hate you.
But
in Houston,
they weren't expected to do nothing. Yeah,
they had the second worst record of everybody last year. They had a rookie head coach who's young. They had a rookie quarterback, whom which goes to show you how great these draft prognosticators are. That we're talking about. He didn't have the cognitive ability to be NFL starting quarterback because he scored low on this stupid test is.
Oh, what is it? The Heimlich maneuver. What is it?
Yeah. They don't call it the Wonderlic anymore.
The Wonderlic test. Yeah, that's what it is.
The Heimlich maneuver.
It's another test that they have. But
wait a minute, Heimlich maneuver. That's hugging each other from the. I can't say that. My bad. We live. Sorry, guys. Keep going.
but to not again, not trying to take anything away from Cleveland, but Houston, man, come on, bro. Nobody, I don't care who you are, even the people that lived in Houston, even the people on that team didn't expect the Houston Texans to make it as far as they did. And they won a playoff game, didn't they? Yeah, because they played Baltimore in the second round, right? Yeah, I'm.
Did they win the first round game? Yeah, they won the first round game, didn't they?
That's what I gotta make sure, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see. They were 10-7 on the season, and yeah, they beat the Browns. In
Right.
the wild 45.
Right. They should have beat the brakes off the Browns because I had Joe Flacco in for my quarterback.
My quarterback. But yeah, but even though that award is awarded prior to the playoffs, but DeMeco Ryans, man, there is no way. Well, I'm gonna say no way. He is deserving of being the NFL coach of the year.
Yeah, yes.
And to me, I think that's I ain't gonna bring in no conspiracy theories. But the brother should have got it. That's all I'm gonna say. The brother should have got it. He should have been a rookie. He should have been the coach of the year. That's all I'm saying. And again, other than that, of course, CJ Stroud, there was no question that he was the rookie of the year. Will Anderson, no question, he was the defensive rookie of the year. And again, both of them were on the Houston Texans, which goes to show you that's why they were able to turn the team around. And then you had Lamar. Lamar was a no. I don't even know who finished second.
Ooh, that's a good question.
That was probably the biggest race.
Probably McCaffrey.
Was it McCaffrey?
I said probably. I'm not sure. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll look it up. Hold on. Go ahead.
But yeah. So Christian McCaffrey, he was a nominee. Those are just the nominees.
They said Mahomes got second.
Did he?
Mahomes.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not that. Wait a minute. I'll find it. Never mind. Go ahead.
I don't see Mahomes being the second best player.
Okay, it's looking like
the Celtics trying to let the Heat come back.
So it's looking like McCaffrey. It's looking like the voting was Lamar Jackson, then Dak, then McCaffrey, then Purdy, then Josh Allen, then Tyreek Hill.
Wow, Dak was second.
Yep. If y'all had,
although
he might have won. If y'all had won a playoff game, if y'all
Dak did have he had a
took that shellacking.
Yeah,
in the playoff. But anyway,
man, that's over with. We looking forward to next year.
Said it's old stuff,
right? Because y'all gonna win next year.
That's old.
They're gonna win every year.
What does YBT say? Your boy Trump, man, that's fake news. Don't worry about that. That's fake news.
So anyway,
let's just
move right along.
Right.
And we're gonna talk about this real quick. Eric Bieniemy, former offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders, is no longer the offensive coordinator. That's what former means, by the way. He's no longer the OC in DC. But the surprising thing is that right now he's not even a position coach. He hasn't been hired by anybody as of yet. Now that might be a pride thing, having to go from being an offensive coordinator to being pushed back down to a position coach position. So he may still get one because there's still teams that are looking to get people in position. But at this moment, he is not an OC. And the thing is, he didn't really have a great season in DC to even warrant being the offensive coordinator.
I mean, I can't necessarily once you put out the stats. I mean, again, I understand, why he's out in DC. He was there 1 year. You bring in a whole new staff. It's different if he would have just been the only one to get fired and you bring in another offensive coordinator. But you bring in a new head coach. A new head coach always brings in a new staff. And so now
down to the strength and conditioning coach.
That right now he's out looking for, you know, a new position. I think somebody will give him an opportunity. Where that will be, we don't know. I think they said he interviewed with the Raiders. But I do think somebody is going to give him an opportunity. Hopefully they'll give him an opportunity with better players. I mean, really, bruh, I mean, to say, to say that he, you know, the Commanders were 25th in this and 32nd in running and all of this kind of stuff and third down percentages, how horrible they were. But you go from, you got Samuel Howell, you know, you got Howell, you got McLaurin. I don't know any of their running backs, but look who you left. You left Mahomes and Maotto. But you know, you left Mahomes, you left Kelsey, you left Pacheco, you know, you left Andy Reid, you know, to go to McLaurin, Howell, and Riverboat Ron. You know, so did we really expect them to be that great? I think maybe if he had a chance to stay longer and get some better players and really develop his players to be in his offense for more than 1 year, they probably would have been better off. But you know, I didn't necessarily think it was going to work out too well in DC when the players was complaining that he talked about he was too hard on them.
He's practicing too much, practicing too hard.
So it's like, yeah, dude, you got an uphill battle in front of you. Yeah. So let's hope he lands on his feet and gets another job so that he can finally get his due as a play caller, so he can become a head coach.
Not NFL related, but NBA related. Dudes, is your Boston team about to get him anywhere?
Yeah,
bro.
That's because Jimmy Butler's not playing. So you know, every time Boston plays a team with an injury to the superstar, we're probably going to lose those games. So they're trying to give this game away right now.
Yeah,
we're working hard. We're working hard.
What is that? Oh, my bad. I'm like, bro, Jason Tatum be doing some of the stupidest things sometimes, man.
In the clutch too.
Right, for no reason. Right.
In clutch situations.
So
I just don't know.
Anyway. Speaking of BIENEMY, since we were talking about who BIENEMY left. You know that
it's that time, fellas.
It's
that time.
That time of day when
Super
you
Bowl
can say
Sunday.
The shadow say
should be a holiday.
Time to put aside.
So for our last feat on this day, on our first live event ever, we're gonna do what we all are horrible at. Giving our prognostication.
Yeah, we're not putting any money behind this.
Right. Yeah, not one single solitary.
Yeah, we are a lot smarter than that.
So D-Dub, we're gonna start with you. Who you got?
Who you with?
Well, I'm interested in seeing how Brock Purdy does with this pressure. You know, being in this pressure situation and you know, the Super Bowl. But it is impossible to go against the Kansas City Chiefs with Mahomes and you know
and McAuto.
Yeah, McAuto and Kelsey, and all the boys. You know, it's hard to go against all.
And don't forget about Taylor. Taylor in the stands.
I thought we was gonna go the whole podcast without mentioning her name.
We're not talking about Taylor Swift. We almost made it.
Ouch! Oh.
That's why your back went out, sucker.
All right, D. Give me yours, man. So you can get out here and get on the plane.
Well, all I can say is all my years of going to them games in Kansas City, taking my Uncle Clarence to the games. How about them Chiefs? I think that I honestly believe that the only way for San Francisco to win this game is they're going to, and I'm not saying it can't happen. We know this happens a lot in Super Bowls, but I think the only way that they'll win this game is if they blow Kansas City out. If it's close, Again, so I think that Kansas City has two options of winning. I think San Francisco has one.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, the only way they win is to blow them out. Because if it's a close game, Kansas City's gonna win.
They got 15
because of Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And Kansas City also has the ability to be able to blow San Francisco out. So if it's a close game, Kansas City wins, and either one of them can blow the other one out, as we know all happens in Super Bowl. So because of the fact that Kansas City has two methods to win versus San Francisco's one, I got to go with Mahomes.
And to round it out, again, the kiss of death to Kansas City. That means San Francisco will probably win this game. But one, I can never go with the San Francisco 49ers. They are a bitter rival. Not only because they killed my Cowboys, but they beat the Lions also. So I can't go with them.
And they beat my Bengals twice in the Super Bowl.
There you go. Two, bro.
Yeah, they beat my Dolphins as well.
Just like we talked about Steph, I can never, ever get, even though Mahomes was my quarterback during our fantasy football, and he actually was horrible for me this year, not because of him, but because of all his receivers that dropped all these freaking touchdown passes, and allowed me to go from being 6-1 to 6-8, lost the season. But anyway, I can't go against Mahomes, man. I just can't. Mahomes is by far. I've seen several quarterbacks from Elway and Marino and Drew Pearson, Roger, Joe Montana, even Aaron Rodgers, right? There's nobody that plays a position like Pat Mahomes, man.
Like
nobody.
Drew Pearson?
Like Drew Pearson. He was the best ever, man. The best to ever do it. He was the best to ever do it, man. He was the best to ever do it. But yeah, so to me, it's gonna be
we're all on Mahomes. We're all on the Chiefs.
And San Francisco gonna win. San Francisco gonna win.
Kansas City.
Kansas City, here I come.
So anyway, fellas, it's been great today. It's been wonderful.
Shout out to all my homeboys in Kansas City out there on Prospect.
Yeah.
Hood.
But so we figured out a couple of things. Caitlin Clark is absolutely amazing. We talked about
we just figured that out this podcast
of Steph. We talked about the
65 game rule.
The 65 game rule and what that does. We talked about a lot of stuff. So hopefully we've said some stuff that you guys like. So we want you to go ahead and before we leave here, if you're here or if you're gonna be here when you see the re-recording, press that like button, press that subscribe button, press the follow button, send D Double the money. And if you like what we had to say, we thank you. But if you didn't, kiss it. And on Super Bowl Sunday, we out.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on moonlight. Don't blame it on good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on sunshine. Sunshine. Moonlight. Moonlight. Boogie's got me in a super trance. Sunshine. Moonlight. Yeah. Good times. You just got the sunshine, yeah, moonlight, good times,
Peace.
Yeah. What's this little